Reason number three, laziness. Busy people are often the most lazy. We have all heard stories of a businessman who works hard to earn money. He works hard to be a good provider for his wife and children. He spends long hours at the office and brings work home on weekends. One day he comes home to an empty house. His wife has left with the kids. He knew he and his wife had problems, but rather than work to make the relationship strong, he stayed busy at work. This made his performance at work slips and he loses his job. Today, I often meet people who are too busy to take care of their wealth, and there are people too busy to take care of their health. The cause is the same. They are busy and they stay busy as a way of avoiding something they do not want to face. Nobody has to tell them. Deep down, they know. In fact, if you remind them, they often respond with anger or irritation. If they aren't busy at work or with the kids, they are often busy watching TV, fishing, playing golf, or shopping. Yet, deep down, they know they are avoiding something important. That is the most common form of laziness. Laziness by staying busy. So, what is the cure for laziness? The answer is a little greed. For many of us, we were raised thinking of greed or desire as bad. Greedy people are bad people, my mom used to say. Yet we all have inside of us this yearning to have nice things, new things, or exciting things. So, to keep that emotion of desire under control, often parents found ways of suppressing that desire with guilt. You only think about yourself. Don't you know you have brothers and sisters? Was one of my mom's favorites. Or you want me to buy you what? Or you want me to buy you what? To buy you what? Was a favorite of my dad. Do you think we are made of money? Do you think money grows on trees? We aren't rich people. You know, it wasn't so much the words, but the angry guilt trip that went with the words that got to me. It wasn't so much the words, but the angry guilt trip that went with the words that got to me. Or the reverse guilt trip was the I am sacrificing my life to buy this for you. I am buying this for you because I never had this advantage when I was a kid. I have a neighbor who is stone broke but can't park his car in his garage. The garage is filled with toys for his kids. Those spoiled brats get everything they ask for. I don't want them to know the feeling of want. I don't want them to know the feeling of want or his everyday words. He has nothing set aside for their college or his retirement. He has nothing set aside for their college or his retirement. But his kids have every toy ever made. He recently got a new credit card in the mail and took his kids to visit Las Vegas. I am doing it for the kids, he said with the great sacrifice. Rich Dad forbade the words, I can't afford it. In my real home, that is all I heard. Instead, Rich Dad required his children to say, how can I afford it? Instead of saying, I can't afford it, Rich Dad required his children to say, how can I afford it? His reasoning, the words, I can't afford it, shut down your brain. It doesn't have to think anymore. How can I afford it? Opened up the brain, forced it to think and search for answers. Forced it to think and search for answers. But most importantly, he felt the words, I can't afford it, were a lie. And the human spirit knew it. The human spirit is very, very powerful, he would say. It knows it can do anything. By having a lazy mind that says, I can't afford it, a war breaks out inside you. Your spirit is angry, and your lazy mind must defend its lie. The spirit is screaming, come on, let's go to the gym and work out. And the lazy mind says, but I am tired. I worked really hard today. Or the human spirit says, I am sick and tired of being poor. I am sick and tired of being poor. Let's go out there and get rich. To which the lazy mind says, rich people are greedy. Besides, it is too much bother. It is not safe. It might lose money. I am working hard enough as it is. I have got too much to do at work anyway. Look at what I have to do tonight. Tonight. Look at what I have to do tonight. My boss wants it finished by the morning. I can't afford it. Also brings up sadness, a helplessness that leads to despondency and often depression. Apathy is another word. How can I afford it? Opens up possibilities, excitement, and dreams. So, Rich Dad was not so concerned about what you wanted to buy, but that how can I afford it created a stronger mind and a dynamic spirit. Thus, he rarely gave Mike or me anything. Instead, he would ask, how can you afford it? And that included college, which we paid for ourselves. It was not the goal, but the process of attaining the goal we decided that he wanted us to learn. The problem I sense today is that there are millions of people who feel guilty about their greed. It is an old conditioning from their childhood. Their desire to have the finer things that life offers. Their desire to have the finer things that life offers. Most have been conditioned subconsciously to say you can't have that or you will never afford that. You will never afford that. When I decided to exit the rat race, It was simply a question: how can I afford to never work again? And my mind began to kick out answers and solutions. The hardest part was fighting my real partners. Sorry. The hardest part with was fighting my real parents' dogma of we can't afford that, or stop thinking only about yourself, or why don't you think about others, and other such words designed to instill guilt to suppress my greed, and other such words designed to instill guilt to suppress my greed. So, how do you beat laziness? So, how do you beat laziness? The answer is a little greed. It is that radio station WIIFM, which stands for What is in it for me? A person needs to sit down and ask, what is in it for me if I am healthy, sexy, and good looking? Or what would my life be like if I never had to work again? Or what would I do if I had all the money I needed? Without that little greed, the desire to have something better, progress is not made. Our world progresses because we all desire a better life. New inventions are made because we desire something better. We go to school and study hard because we want something better. So, whenever you find yourself avoiding something you know you should be doing, the only thing to ask yourself, what is in it for me? Be a little greedy. It is the best cure for laziness. Too much greed, not saying little greed. Too much greed, however, as anything in excess can be, is not good. But just remember that Michael Douglas said in the movie Wall Street, greed is good. Rich Dad said it differently. Guilt is worse than greed. For guilt robs the body of its soul. And to me, Eleanor Roosevelt said it best: do what you feel in your heart to be right, for you will be criticized anyway. You will be damned if you do, and damned if you don't. Eleanor Roosevelt said it best: do what you feel in your heart to be right, for you will be criticized anyway. You will be damned if you do, and damned if you don't.